Peace to the fam. Peace to the fam. Um, Do the truth. 777. As y'all know, we enter into the fifth. It's a lot of it's a lot of parts we play in the fifth, man. As higher consciousness is being projected on the planet, and higher intelligence is being able to seep into some of the consciousness of these beings. You know what I'm saying? We got a role. We have something to do, and if you are so-called woke and you know your role and you kind of like leaning more towards the information, this is right up your alley. Um, I just want to first start off by saying that I am not a contactee. I am not an abductee. No beings come and scoop me up. No beings come and give me information. I have not been in an extraterrestrial spacecraft. I have not been around ancient beings. Only the ones that I know of from my days of birth. I got pictures of light beings surrounding me when I was young. So I get information from the source. Okay, I'm not going to nobody. So that's a fact. So we getting that out of the way. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock nobody that's been abducted and have, that can get abducted and get Jews information. I don't get that. That don't happen to me. So I tap into the flower of life, and I get information straight from the source. Okay, and that's a little bit about me. So we have what you would call 5G. 5G. Excuse me, yo. What you would call 5G. I'm gonna keep going. I did a light little burp. So what? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. We have the so-called 5G. The 5G is a representation. Okay, what do you think about 5G? Faster power, more internet, all around the world connection, right? Well, the 5G is a representation of the fifth dimension, which we are seeping in. Notice how it came. And if you know about anything about the sun disk, and Kazikoatan, the Mayan calendar. Well, as you know, that it is a representation within that sun disk. It has the four primordial worlds that existed that have been counted within a particular cycle of 500,000 years or more. So these cycles represent each world. You have one, two, three, four worlds. Each square represents a world. So, as you know, the Mayan calendar is a representation for the fifth world that we will be partaking in. And the fifth world is just a representation of us moving into the fifth dimension. Okay, so you have the internet, right? There is a code that runs the internet that runs the whole planet. And that's a fact. So you have to break down the codes. Okay, so you know there's a certain matrix code that runs this planet, which is the same code that runs the internet. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, you have a code that has been embedded within 5G, the fifth dimension. And the code is generated through our aura field and it seeps into our being. It comes straight through the Cosmic records and it seeps through our being. So the internet is a watered down version of the light being's Ethernet, which we navigate and we use the grid that has been overpowered with solar radiation for a new breakdown and a new buildup of every magnetic field. Every being has a magnetic field. So every magnetic field has to be devoured and produced a new magnetic field. And that magnetic field is what you would call us walking into 5G that has everything more sensing, everything more hypened up. So the internet is a watered down version of the Ethernet, which we utilize to pull in ancient knowledge and wisdom and give to our light beings and our ancient beings that are not human. And if you know a little bit about what I be talking about, you know that's a fact. If you are a human, you are 3/5 of a man, 3/4 of a man. Anyway, so the internet is a slight knockoff of the Ethernet, which all light beings can tap into and get information. And we can communicate with different beings around the planet at certain times, or we will have the ability to tap into certain amounts of energy that these same beings have obtained. So all around the world, you will see different beings. You know, they'll start coming with the same stuff slightly, but because they're connected to that Ethernet now, which is pumped by 5G, the fifth dimension. So all of our light beings, all of our ancient ones, our ancient souls that are billions of years old, they are pulling in these frequencies and pulling in a higher light from the Ethernet, which is energy that pulsates galactically through the universe right now. And if you know anything about the Mayan calendar, you know it ties into this particular cycle right now that we are on, and that's a whole nother video. So yeah, the fifth G is a representation of the fifth dimension, which represents the Ethernet, and the Ethernet is the new grid that has been saturated with radiation to build a new Ethernet for us to connect and get information. So don't be surprised when you see people start waking up and they're talking about universal consciousness. They're talking about the ancient galactical so-called black queen, light being queen that runs the universe, the ancient man of days that was that ran the universe. And he looks curly hair, you know what I'm saying? The ancient Buddha is a representation of the ancient man that ran the universe. The Olmecs are the protectors of the ancient queen of the universe. And don't get it twisted. Within this queen, she has the ability to activate her kabah, which is her spaceship, her galactical spaceship, that she has been blessed with, being that she is an organic being from the universe. So, you know, just a couple of things. Nobody ever gonna tell you about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I'm getting it from the Ethernet. You can't even some of the stuff, man. You can go look it up and you kind of see. I mean, if some of the stuff I'm saying going over your head, I apologize. You know, it ain't for you. But yeah, do the truth. I'm signing off.